Good morning, St. Francis. Good morning, people of God. It is Friday, the 15th day of September, 2023, Friday of the 23rd week of the year, the 23rd week in Ordinary Time. It is also today the memorial of Our Lady of Sorrows. And here in the courtyard, we are taking pictures. We are taking pictures for our yearbooks and for everything else like that. So this is 7th grade, right? Yes. Eighth grade behind me. And this is kindergarten. And kindergarten is running away to do something. Look at kindergarten. Look at kindergarten right over there. Yes. Look at all the kindergartners. But look at the 8th graders. The 8th graders are taking their pictures and they're looking beautiful today. So on this very cool morning that we're having, finally a cool morning. We were kind of led into a false sense of security a couple of days ago with a nice cool morning, and then all of a sudden it became 90 degrees again. So hopefully we said farewell to the 90 degrees that we've been experiencing here in Carolina. So today, Our Lady of Sorrows, not an ancient feast. It is a feast that kind of comes into existence in the 12th century. Again, why? Well, because Mary was sad that Jesus died, and so everybody kind of needs to be sad that Jesus died. And yes, it's sad that Jesus died, but the fact is that he also rose. And so we always have this, great kind of conflict between, how are we supposed to feel? And it's like, do we move from one emotion to the other? How do we mix these emotions together? And a lot of times, many people think that it is more easier to feel sadness and sorrow than it is to feel gladness and joy, or there's something wrong when we feel gladness and joy. And so we have this feast, that arises, where people can feel perhaps the same kind of pain that Mary might have felt in seeing her son crucified on the cross or being rejected many times over, all kinds of things like that. It was often connected with Holy Week, and it was part of the celebrations in Holy Week for a while, but then there was also one that was kind of attached here to the day that follows the exaltation of the cross. And because there were two that seemed to be the same kind of focus, they decided basically to eliminate the one and to focus all the energies onto this one. And so we have today Our Lady of Sorrows on this day. It is one of the days in which we still would sing a sequence, which is this kind of poetic part of the liturgy, a poetic narrative about Mary's pains and her sorrows that would follow after the second reading before the Alleluia. So it was an extension of the Alleluia. There used to be thousands of them, but this is one of the days in which it can be sung. Corpus Christi, Solemn Body and Blood of Christ, it can be sung on that day, and on All Souls Day it can be sung. So these ancient kinds of poetry that were part of the liturgy, we have one on this day. Let's see, the readings for today, like that, in case, to all of the members of the Congregation of Holy Cross, both priests and brothers, today is their feast day. Although they are Congregation of the Holy Cross, their feast day is not the Holy Cross. It is always Our Lady of Sorrows. So happy feast day to them too. The readings for today, we have the first readings from the natural course of readings, but the gospel is going to be special for today because it is Our Lady of Sorrows. So that first reading, we leave the letter to the Colossians and we move to Paul's letter to Timothy. Who was Timothy? Well, a bishop, but perhaps not a bishop the way that we understand bishops today, but someone who was appointed as overseer for a Christian community at some point. Basically, Paul begins a letter to him, telling him to be, again, the best kind of overseer, the best kind of bishop that's possible. There goes the 8th grade. The 8th grade have finished taking their beautiful pictures, and now they are walking away back to class. Look at them. They are just they have so much character. There's Mr. Krieger, their teacher. This letter to Timothy is basically just an introduction, of Paul to Timothy, and basically Paul talks about himself first, again, because he's kind of introducing himself, so he needs to talk about himself. Again, Paul talks about himself a lot in all of his letters, and it's just basically a greeting, in which Paul again situates his own truth and his own reality in this Christian movement, and now he's going to be beginning to write to Timothy about what it means, to be an overseer, to be someone who takes care of Christian communities. So we'll see what unfolds the next couple of days. Our gospel for today, there are two different choices. The first choice is Jesus basically giving his mother to the Apostle John, and therefore to the entire church, at the foot of the cross. There, behold your son, behold your mother. And the fact again that in that giving, Jesus, and it only happens in John's gospel, that Jesus again gives Mary to all people. She is mother for all people, all creation, not just for Jesus himself. So this great last act of selflessness, this last act of self-giving, and being able to share his mother with the world. And a practical thing about taking care of her after, but again, he's going to rise, so again, it's this kind of thing, but he will then ascend to the Father, so someone has to take care of Mary. So John ends up doing that. But the greater thing about, again, Mary becoming our mother also. The other choice of it is at the presentation. So you have at the end of Jesus's life, a choice for a gospel reading, and a choice at the beginning of Jesus's life. And at the presentation, after Simeon has told Mary and Joseph the wonderful things that Jesus will, cause to happen in his lifetime, he then turns to Mary and says that your heart will be pierced by a sword, so the hearts of many people will be revealed. Again, what does that mean? Again, piercing by the sword, yes, that she'll experience pain, throughout her life because she gave birth to this child. But again, how does that open hearts? What does that mean to open hearts? And again, perhaps is the sense in which, because of Mary's own faithfulness and the fact that she never gives up and the fact that she never, doubts even through the pain and the suffering that she experiences, we are called to follow in that same kind of way. We are called to take on that same kind of perspective, on life, and that same kind of sense of moving forward, in life, and not letting those things that pain us or that make us seem as though we've lost everything become the only way in which we see ourselves, or become something that stops us in our belief and our movement towards the fullness and wholeness of belief, that comes with union with Christ. A blessed day, St. Francis and people of God. May the Lord give you his peace.